Good morning. My name is Brad Lund. I am the Executive Director of the Healthcare Business Management Association. Except for those of you on the West Coast, it just turned noon. I'm sorry, on the East Coast, it just turned noon. So good afternoon to you. Today, we're going to continue our series on HBMA member benefits, and I'm delighted to welcome Michele Howard from Performance Resources to join me today. I've known Performance Resources for over 2 decades. Michele's father and I entered into an agreement in the early 2000s, and I'm happy to report that Performance Resources have been with us ever since. Since I don't know all the details and the scope of services that Performance Resources offers, I'm going to turn this over to Michele. And again, I want you to know that that Performance Resources is not just a job posting site. It has a lot of services that you will find very valuable as you hire and maintain staff. So with that, Michele, can you walk us through what Performance Resources is?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Thank you so much. And we have so appreciated our relationship with HBMA and meeting all the wonderful members. It's actually probably one of my favorite associations. So I just love everybody and working with everybody. So I'm happy to be here. We are basically an HR consulting service. So the nice thing about our products is it's menu based and subscription based. So, as with all things in business, a lot of people have certain pieces of that HR puzzle already in place, whether they're already using a background check or they already have some software that meets some of their needs. What we can do is sit down and meet with the members and talk to them about what pieces of the puzzle are they missing and what products do they need to add. So in that HR realm, we do start off with the careers and the recruiting piece. And of course, with the job board, we are able to post the jobs, and we offer 5,000 different job boards. And that's because it's a tough market right now, and you're looking everywhere for people. So we have the largest and most diverse network of places to find good employees all over. And from there, we do offer the background check services. And when you're hiring, you can also use our assessments. And we have quite a combination of assessments. So you can choose anything from a pre-hire assessment that would screen a person for the honesty, integrity, just to be sure that they're going to, represent your organization well and become a wonderful part of your team. And then we also have the job matching scope of assessments, which is once you know they're a great person and you're happy to have them join your team, are they going to be happy doing the job, and are they going to do the job the way your organization does it? Are they going to be trainable with the training program that you already have in place? Is it going to take a little extra, kind of to lay that game plan for the first year of onboarding and getting somebody on board?
So, Michele, can I interrupt you for a second? Yes. I promise I wasn't going to do that, but I want to go back to what you originally said, the 5,000 job posting sites that an opening can be posted to. I think most of us are familiar with ZipRecruiters or Indeed. Are the posting sites, are they like that?
Yes. So we have a couple different levels of packages that everyone could pick. The base package includes all of the big sites. So it includes Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Monster, LinkedIn. It also includes all of your social media. So we use Craigslist. So people either love or hate Craigslist, but it's there to facilitate. If you find good people from there, you can just with a click of a button, 2 clicks, get everything posted out to that one. Facebook is the number 3 job board, which is a sneaker because people don't think of Facebook for recruiting, but it actually gets more activity than Indeed and LinkedIn combined. So Indeed is the number 1 job board, and you'll see about 60 to 68%. Most people will get about 60 to 68% of their applicants coming from the big job board like Indeed, and then LinkedIn is the number 2 job board. But number 3 is Facebook. So, and Facebook is free. So it's a huge network of people to be able to access. So we make that all very easy with a click of a button. But you'll get 25 of the largest, most name recognition job boards in that base subscription that we offer. So your jobs will go out to those immediately. And then, we can kind of dig into the additional 5,000 because nobody needs 5,000 options. But there might be a school that is training for some of the positions you're hiring in. So if we work with phlebotomists or, other things in the healthcare industry, there might be some schools across the nation that you would like to market to. We offer all of the colleges and universities across the nation.
Oh my, that is a big footprint.
Yeah.
So when so many job boards, you probably get lots of applications for a particular job. Do they go right to the member, or do you screen in some fashion before it gets to the member?
We are basically kind of like an HR assistant, so that we teach the member how to use our software. And so what we do is if we think it's a position where you will get lots and lots of applicants, like a lot of the remote positions right now, you'll see hundreds of applications. We set up what we call job questions. So there are certain things that are really necessary that you must have, whether it's certifications or knowledge of software, things that you even if it's a wonderful person, the best employee in the world, if they don't have these certain things, you can't hire them for that position. So those would be screening questions. So we'll teach the members how to set those questions up and in which format to accept the applications. And then the software will help with that, but we never hide an applicant from view. So a member can always see all the applicants, but at the same time, they can screen quickly for the people that are qualified or not qualified for their jobs.
Okay. And just one more question, and I'll let you get back to your assessments. You mentioned background checks. How deep is that background check, and do you find it to be an accurate way of screening people that you really don't want to move forward with?
Yeah, background checks are a good one. And with everything else, you can do whatever type of background check. You would work with our team. We are the background check service ourselves, so we do it internally, and I have a team that does that. So what we have you do is just do a quick call with them. A lot of people already know what they would like to check. So they have maybe credentials, maybe driving history, whatever it is, whether it's criminal or any of those types of things. We have packages you can purchase. So if you want to go really in depth and dig into the last 5 states they live in, you can do that. If you're I want to just check the last 3 counties that they live in, there's a whole menu option there that they can choose, and they match it to the job. So you can put together 3 or 4 packages based on the position that you're hiring for. And then we set those up in advance inside the software. And again, it's a click of a button because you've already done the work on the back end in advance. And so then once you are screening someone and interviewing them, now you're ready to do the background check. You just click a button. Our team gets all the permissions, send out all the releases, the notices. California has some extra steps. We have that all programmed in. It's a pretty streamlined process. And then the member can log in and see the status of the background check at any time because different pieces come back at different times.
I would think that would be a very good investment because there's nothing more expensive than hiring someone and then 3 months later you got to let them go and start over again. That's got to be very expensive.
It is. It's about the annual salary. So whatever you're going to pay someone an annual salary, you don't think about it that way, but if you start adding up all the costs, it's about whatever you would pay them for their first year. It costs you about that much.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So and the nice thing is you can turn that on in the system or you can turn that off. If you have a system you're currently using that you like, that you've built a relationship with, many times, depending on the platform that you're using, we can turn that on in our system. So we also integrate with a lot of other products. So the kind of the goal with what we're doing is we're trying to build a portal where a member can go that everything is there. So sometimes we can look at current products they're already using and also integrate those into what we have as well, so that they're just logging into one piece. What I find a lot when I first meet with people is they know about the job boards and they have 6 different accounts with Indeed and LinkedIn, and it's real time consuming to have a username and password set up with every single account, and then you have to go in and cut and paste, turn on and off, log into each one to screen the applicants for that job that you've posted on that site. Our software brings it all into one portal. It's a huge time saver. And then you can have other people on your team, if they're going to do the interview with you, they can also log in and see the same thing. So everybody is getting real-time information. A lot of times what people will do is they'll get an applicant's resume and they'll review it, and then they'll send that resume on to another team member, whether that's another manager or another owner. And what happens is sometimes they'll decide they want to interview someone, but the applicant has already taken another job. So the applicant will communicate that to one team member. And meanwhile, the second team member is still reviewing the resume, and they get all excited, reach out to the first team member, and then the first team member has to say, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, they already took another job. But if you have all the information in real time and everybody's logging into the same portal, you can take notes and you can set up what we call a status for what is the status of each and every applicant. Mm-hmm. So when you go in and you look at a screenshot, you can see that, applicant Mary Jones is in first interview stage. Henry White he's been offered a job. So the status of everybody immediately, and everybody's on the same page. So it increases that onboarding time to get people in as a new employee to your organization.
Great information. Okay, well, so I interrupted you. You were talking about assessments, and I'm so sorry, but I think that was good information for our members.
And yeah, actually from assessments, we have a whole bunch of them, but we also have skills testing. So many times I'll see, well, we need a, AR collections person, and yeah, we've done the assessment. They will be a good fit for the job, but we'd also like to offer an Excel test or, whatever the software is you're using. We have, I believe now it's at least 2,000 skills tests. I mean, we even have forklift operator, not that would apply in this case, but it's amazing what kind of skills they can assess online. So we have a ton of skills tests because there's a difference between, aptitudes for success in learning a job. That's one type of an assessment. And then there's also just hard skills that you've gotten really good at and that but hard skills also can be lost. If we don't use a skill over a long period of time, we kind of have to do a refresher. So there's two types of things we can assess: aptitudes, potential, and then skills. So we have both of those kind of assessments. But then the background check is one of the next things that people can do.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once you decide you've made the job offer and you're communicating with the applicant inside the portal, you can do video interviews if you want, or they can come in, however your process works. We try to work the product around your process. The product itself is completely customizable. So if each of the members has their own questions or their own application, we set that application up in the system for them. So it's not cookie cutter, like they have to do it a certain way. We try to match what they're already doing because everybody has a unique business. So that's really helpful too. But then if they decide, okay, we're going to hire someone, then the next step is, you got to start that paperwork process. So you have to onboard them. Mm-hmm. So we have a part of the portal that can onboard all of the state forms, all the federal forms, and then there's internal forms. So we help condense and organize the current forms that you need. And we can either do it by text or by email, send out those forms to get the signatures from that new employee that's coming on board and get all of that done before they come in that first day. It saves a whole bunch of time and get them all set up and ready to go. And then that information that's all been collected in the system can also be sent over to the member's payroll system. So usually there's a payroll system in place. Yes. Whether that's Paylocity or Paychex or ADP, we love all of them and we work with all of them. So we can take all of that data that people have spent time entering the system, and instead of having someone in your accounting or HR department double enter the information, which takes time and money, you can have the system just talk to the payroll system, and it takes all that new onboarding information and dumps it in. So that's really helpful too, because then they're all set up in your payroll system and you're ready to go. Then you just have to train them.
Absolutely. You mentioned HR. So when the final step you talked about was moving the information over to Paychex or whatever payroll service the member uses. Is that the end of your HR relationship with the member then, or do you continue on in some fashion?
Well, it depends on the member themselves. So the assessments follow a new employee for about 5 to 7 years. So the assessments have 7 to 10 different reports that come with them. So just because you've used an assessment for pre-employment and screening and all that, we have a training report that comes with these assessments. So a lot of times it depends on time. People were really busy, but if you have the time, we would love to stay and help with onboarding that employee, helping them get trained. There's coaching reports. So how do you get that person up in the first 90 days using the coaching report that comes from the assessments? How do you use that to smooth out any little hiccups or bumps? Integrating a new person into the existing team. So there's lots of things that the assessments do downstream from recruiting that are available if the member chooses to use those. And we love to be part of
that. You've caught my attention though. This is actually something HBMA is building. We're building an onboarding portal, I guess you would call it, within inside of our learning management system. But it specifically goes to what the job function of the person is, if they're doing denial management or if they're doing some sort of patient follow-up, that sort of thing. Do you dive into that specificity?
That would just have to look at individually and see if there's a match. There's so many different reports and they build new ones all the time. So we would just have to look at your project and see what you're wanting, what the goals are. As long as we make sure that the goals of the report and the assessment meet what you're trying to do, we're okay.
We'll talk about that later, because it might be, we were thinking about doing it in our learning management system, but if you've brought the member to the point where you're moving the payroll information, and now we have to, training obviously happens internally, so there'll be training processes with which the particular revenue cycle management company uses, but there are some things that are common to all billing companies, whether it be from Medicare, Medicaid, commercial insurance. Those are all things that we are trying to build, and in addition to coding, and there's a variety of things. So maybe there's a way that we can figure out how to integrate and complement each other.
Yeah, absolutely. You've just maybe given me homework, I hear you saying.
Yeah. So Michele, if you're a member of HBMA, is there a pricing value to your services if you're a member compared to not being a member?
Yes, so we do have very, very special pricing for HBMA members. So the mini portal that has the 22 mainstream job boards and then the recruiting piece and all that, it has you can post jobs just one at a time as you go. So you can pick a 30-day posting or a 60-day posting, which, we get in and consult with that. There's some, depending on the recruiting market, which we're in a very tight recruiting market. So we don't suggest doing 60-day postings because most people will see a huge drop after a certain amount of days.
Sure.
So usually you get more what we call bang for your buck if you just do 30-day postings. So you can post and pay as you go if you just want to do that. And a lot of the smaller folks like that, or if you're just want to try out the system, you could just pay for one job posting and then get access to whatever, I call it the mini portal. And then from there are different tiers and different levels up until if you wanted to, sign up for everything, then we would customize a package for you. We do everything per quote.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have got this figured out to make it as painless as possible for the member that needs to fill a position. We
try. I really like it. It's so fun. I know most people don't say hiring in HR and recruiting is fun, but I've been, I guess I've been here long enough. I really enjoy it. So, and I love meeting the members. Everyone has been wonderful to work with. So it's been fun.
And we're going to do everything we can to obviously talk about performance resources as being not just a message board. In fact, that's probably just one small piece of the totality of what you do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's easy for the members if they just go on to the HBMA website and find that, that job board tab. You can submit a form, even if you just need more information, or if you want to set up a portal. A lot of people are like, well, I think I'm going to hire in the spring. if they want to go ahead and sign up, there's no charge to just sign up and have the portal sitting there waiting. And you can just fill out that form. We can get you signed up because we customize that landing page with the members' logos and colors. So the applicants think everything is going through the member. And we can also help if the members are interested. We can have them set up a career or a jobs tab on their company website too. So it's made on purpose to look very streamlined.
You're just a wealth of information and knowledge in this area. And I assure you that most of us, we do not like this filling job position. So you've made it really easy. We have bumped up against the time that we've allotted for this. So Michele, thank you so much for joining me today and talking about this wonderful service that you offer the members of HBMA.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye.